what I really do again. Welcome back to the channel. As always, you better be having a good day. Shit. Now with that being said, for you guys today, I have resonators, generators. I'm sorry, bro. I'm still resonating on all the W's I've been getting with this deck. Well, I mean, listen, bro. This deck is actually really good. I got some saucy replays for you guys. I really like this deck. It's honestly, it's a rogue deck, bro. It's not top tier or anything like that, but it's a really good deck, and I'm gonna show you some really good things that you could do with the deck, the way it plays and stuff like that. I'm planning on making a guide on this deck, so if you really like what you see and how I play the deck and stuff like that, then let me know. But I do want to make a guide on this deck because it's a really interesting deck. I really enjoy it. So with that being said, if you guys enjoy the content, please leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe to the boy, because I would greatly appreciate it. Now also, the only problem that this deck has, that to me anyways, is that it's Brick City. You might as well go to your local building, grab a brick off the bottom, and put it on top of your deck. Now, it doesn't happen all that often. I mean, all that crazy. You know, it's not like every hand you get is a brick, but, you know, it is kind of bricky. So with that being said, let's get into the replay. Right, gang, here we are for the numero uno replay of the today. And on this one, once again, tier limits, I believe. I'm going to show you that this deck can be a little toxic when it works. Because you can hand rip your opponent. I'm gonna show you that right now, right? So here we're gonna activate our Kaiju Kuri Curse, and basically what that thing does is send a level 9 monster to the graveyard, so you could draw 2 cards, right? Which is amazing. So here we're gonna start off by activating our Love TR Shadow of the Generators, right? That thing, we're going to activate its effect, we're going to tribute itself, and we're going to special summon Divala, which is a rare. Crazy that could not be made this a rare, but we're really happy about it. So basically what this card does is that it's going to send any one of, it's going to allow you to special summon any one of your generated monsters from the graveyard or your hand, right? So we're going to activate that thing's effect, and we're going to special summon our Mardo. Mardo is your searcher for the entire deck, which basically searches out any generator card. This is what I usually use to search out my field spell if I don't have it, right? So we're going to set that thing down. Then we're going to activate World Legacy Monstrosity, which is nuts. You're going to target a level 9 on the field, and it's going to allow you to special summon 2 level 9 monsters from your deck, which is crazy, right? So if you don't have this thing, and if you don't have this in the beginning of your combo or in the hand while also having a level 9 monster, do not try this combo because it won't work. So here we're going to use both of these monsters right here to exceed summon into the Phantom Fortress enter Blamir. I don't have my glasses, so I can't read, bro. But we're basically going to activate that thing's effect, and it's going to banish a card, a random card from your opponent's hand. So here we hear the tier limit Soki. So stupid. And then we're going to do it again, bro. You're going to activate that thing's effect, getting rid of a monster. You're going to banish another card. This time we hit the tier limit Scream, so now they're really screaming. Sad times for them. And then I'm going to activate the Vada because because when she's in the graveyard, you could basically get rid of any. It could be a spell, trap, or monster generators, and you could basically send it to the graveyard and you could special summon herself, right? So then with both of these monsters, we're going to exceed summon into the number F0 Utopic Future. Bring that boy out here. Then he's going to act like he a Pokemon or something, and then he's going to evolve into the number F0 Utopic Draco Future. Bring him out here. Draco! He did it first. So then here we're going to, every time your opponent basically draws a card, this field spell is nuts. Especially when you go second, because when they draw a card, it's going to activate its effect, and it's going to allow you to special summon any generated monster from your deck, and then it's going to place down a bunch of tokens. And the reason why these tokens are important is because basically all of your generated monsters have this effect of tributing 2 monsters or something like that, or themselves, and basically to activate their effects. Also, having the Vala on the field is really good, because at any point in time we can quick effect, send it to the graveyard, and special summon any one of our other level 9 generated monsters, which also have effects themselves, right? So this board right here is actually pretty insane. So here they're going to activate the Rhino Heart, right? Sending a Merly to the graveyard, and I'm going to negate that thing. You see how I basically got rid of 2 tokens? This thing is amazing. It's an Omni negate. People try to evenly match me, and then I did the same thing I just did now. This thing stops traps, spells, and monsters. Amazing, right? So we get rid of 2 monsters to negate that thing, because I'm like, nah. Then they're gonna activate the sharing in their hand, and I'm gonna negate that thing with the Utopic Future Draco, right? Because at this point in time, I'm like, if I negate that thing, yeah, I can't take over it, but what else do you have in the hand? I already hand ripped you for these 2 cards. What else do you have, brother? So right here, they're gonna scoop, and that's the GG's for you, my boy. And crazy thing is that at any point in time I could have activated my Vala, and I have 2 monsters in my graveyard that could have special summon level 9s, and one of them basically, if they tried to special summon a monster, I could have stopped that by tributing my token in a monster, and it would have basically, it's like a soul in judgment. And then if not, then I would have had the other one that would have allowed me to tribute 2 monsters, and then I could have banished a card from the field. So this duel was over before I even started, bro. I just wanted to show you the hand rip. So let's get into the next replay. Right, familia, here we are for the numero 2 replay of the today. And this one was against Traptrix, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and we're going second. We gotta get that going second replay in there. The deck doesn't do all that great going second, but you know, usually this is what I rely on. I either have max E or evenly matched, right? Or hand traps. But they're gonna Ash Blossom that thing because it is spring on their side of the field. So I'm not gonna put Ash Blossoms, bro, because no, it only happens on my side of the field. So max E gets bodied and negated, right? So they're gonna activate the trap to guard him. They're going to activate that thing's effect, and then they're going to normal summon the Traptrix Mantis, right? Bring that thing out onto the field. I'm going to Infinite Impermanence that thing because I don't want them searching for anything or any follow-up that they need. So he already knew that the main option that they have is linking this thing off into the Traptrix Sarah, right? Bring it out here. They're going to bring that thing onto the field, and they're going to sit down 2 back row and end their turn, right? So here we go into Hero of the Arc Light. I'm going to activate my Generaider, my Vala, right? That way I can send, this is your main combo also, that way I can send the Lab Turnier to the graveyard, right? Send that thing down there. They're going to activate the Graveyard Traps hole. So basically this thing is not going to do anything. It's going to get negated, sad times. And we're going to take 200 iPhones to the face. And then I'm to 2000. Then I'm going to activate the Divino Hero Arc Light. And I'm going to send the Traptrix Band Suite. And this doesn't really matter what card this is. It just has to be a level 7 from your extra deck. So that way this goes from a level 2 to a level 9. And then I'm going to activate my World Legacy Monstrosity, which basically says target a level 9 and special summon 2 monsters. This is when I realized I was playing against Labyrinth Traptrix. So they activate the big welcome. They're going to bring the Labyrinth of the Silver Castle onto the field, sending her back to the hand. I don't know what that was all about. But with the effect of the World Legacy, I basically brought these 2 monsters onto the field. That's going to trigger the Traptrix Sarah, right? And then they're going to activate the Labyrinth Silver Castle to special summon it again back onto the field. And she will be protected because this thing will set down a trap. Oh, it doesn't set down a trap. Well, sad times. Then they're going to bring out the Traptrix Pudica, right? So basically they're going to banish one of my level 9 monsters. That's going to trigger this thing's effect again. Okay, so that's what they did. So now this thing is protected. So now I'm like, okay, bet. I'm still going to use both of these monsters right here to go into our main boss monster, our level 10 Generaider, right? Boss of the Shadows. We're going to go for the battle phase. That thing doesn't get destroyed, which I'm okay with. I just needed to slap it one time. And then I'm going to use this thing's effect right here. So that way we could Exceed Summon into the Jarun Garden Grinner Boss Eternity. This thing right here, I'm sorry bro, I don't have my glasses. So basically I get to suck up 2 cards either from the field or from the graveyard, which is crazy. It could be a trap, spell, or monster. Non-targeting, by the way. So I suck up these 2 monsters right here. Then I'm gonna activate a second effect, which basically says we both get to draw a card, and then you have to give me a card to put into this thing as material. So then I'm gonna slap this thing. I know it's not every time each one of these will get destroyed, it won't get destroyed. I don't really care. I was just trying to be funny. Slap him in the face because I'm gonna go into the Diviner Zeus, bring it out here. Look at him. Activate that boy's effect because we have 4 materials. Wipe out the whole board, bro. They're gonna activate the Traptrix Haletua. That way they can special summon the Traptrix Sarah back onto the field. I could have wiped that thing away again, but I was like, nah, you only have 1 card to draw into. What would it matter anyways? And they're just gonna scoop because I could have just wiped that thing away again. And I would have slapped the 2 off of the field because whatever that is doesn't really matter. So with that being said, let's go into the next replay. Alright gang, here we are for the numero 3 replay of today. And this one was against Numeron, and the reason why I wanted to show you this one is so I can show you how basically this deck doesn't care about Evermax, which is nuts. So let's see how we start off the combo here. Yeah, we're gonna start off with our Love TR, right? Activate that thing's effect, special summon the Vala. Vala's gonna activate to special summon my level 9 onto the field. And then again, we have the World Legacy Monstrosity, so we're gonna target her so we can special summon 2 other monsters. And this time I special summon these 2 specifically, with specifically my Myrtle, because Myrtle gets to activate its effect so we can search our field spell, right? Bring it out here, set that thing down. We're gonna use both of these monsters right here to go into the Phantom Fortress, enter Blanier, whatever. So basically what I like to do is activate that thing's effect. We're gonna hand rip our opponent, right, for one time. So here we hand rip the numbers Evale. So the only card that I really know that plays this thing for real is Floranda Reese. So at this point I thought I was playing against Floranda Reese, so I didn't want to rip hand my opponent again, banish one of their Floranda Reese cards, and then I'm gonna be sad, bro, because they're gonna start activating stuff. So instead of doing that, I just use both of these monsters to CC summon into our main boss monster, right? Bring her out here. So one piece of advice, if you're gonna play this deck, place your Xyz monsters, specifically this one over here, because when you activate this thing's effect to special summon one of your generated monsters, it gives you more tokens to banish. Okay, so remember that, because I always forget. So we're gonna set down our 2 backward. They're gonna draw a card, and like I said, we're gonna special summon the Vala. That's gonna allow us to put the tokens down on the field. So also make sure that this is always link 1 before you're gonna activate any one of your generated effects, because if not, then you're not gonna be able to special summon them because your tokens are gonna take all the space, right? So the reason why I read the Vala is because I was gonna use the Vala to special summon the Lab TR, right? And then I'm gonna get 2 tokens onto the field. Now the reason why I did this is because by doing this, I can basically special summon any one of my generated monsters onto the field. I don't know exactly what I'm playing against right now. I assume it was Floranda Reese, but because I did this, it gives me set up to basically play on my opponent's turn efficiently. So now I know that we're playing against Numeron. So because I'm playing against Numerons, I'm gonna tribute my Vala, right? Send it to the graveyard, and I'm going to special summon my Har, right? Because now basically if they activate anything, I can activate this thing's effect, get rid of any one of these 2 and negate it, Omni negate, right? So bring it out onto the field. Again, they're gonna activate the triple tactic talents, and I'm gonna negate that thing. This is what I told you. Since I knew what I was playing against, now I can play efficiently, negate that thing, get it out of my face. You're not drawing any cards. They're gonna activate that thing's effect, which I assume this is what they wanted to do, because they wanted to bait out the negate. But I still had another World Legacy Monstrosity, which is amazing, bro, because it allows me to bring 2 level 9s onto the field on my opponent's turn. Oh my god, that's so fire, man. So here I'm gonna bring out the Tribeca Horatio, whatever, and another Vala. Now the reason why I should have brought my other level 9s and stuff like that, but at this point in time I wasn't really like 100% sure on how to play the deck still. This is one of my earlier matches, right? So here they're gonna use all of these monsters right here so they can go into the Evermax, right? And I'm like, congratulations, you're doing great, sir. So here they're gonna try and attack me. I waited until they went into the attack phase and stuff like that. I'm gonna activate our boss monster, right, and get her out of here. Bring the Jarmugaran onto the field, and basically I can suck up the Evermax, suck up the field spell. And then they're gonna activate Left Offering, get rid of all of their cards, so that way they could get another number Evale, right? But they can't activate that thing now. So then what I'm going to do is activate this thing's effect, which basically says my opponent has to get rid of a monster from their hand, but they don't have a monster, so it doesn't matter. Then I'm gonna activate this thing's second effect, so we both draw a card, right? And then they gotta give me a card to suck up, basically. So they drew into this thing, which would have been crazy followable for the next turn, but I got to suck it up because it's a monster, right? And then both of these monsters get popped of the effect of our World Legacy of this thing right here, because this thing effect is, yeah, you can special summon 2 level 9s, but at the end of the turn they will get popped. Usually you don't care because you're gonna use them to CC summon into monsters, so it's fine. But when you do it this way, they will get popped. So then, you know, it's our turn now. I'm just gonna flip my opponent's face up. I'm gonna activate this thing's effect, hand rip them off of that thing, because I just didn't even want them having it, bro. And then we're just gonna slap them in the face for GG's. This deck is nuts. This deck is nuts, bro. It's hella fun to play, man. I'm telling you. So with that being said, let's go into the next replay. Look, they already know. They always know, man. All right, again, here we are for the numero 4 replay of the today, and I believe this one was against Sprite, and well, yeah, I believe it was against Sprite. I think the video is not too long enough because these replays go by pretty fast. This deck it's not super grindy. You don't need to grind a lot. Usually you'll win just by showing your deck. People do not like this deck. But we're gonna set down our field spell, especially with normal summon. I love TR, and this is one of the different ways to go into your combo, right? I'm gonna get my Myrtle onto the field since I already have my field spell. It doesn't really matter to me, so I'm gonna send out my Vala, right? Then I'm gonna activate my Kaiju Curse, right? Basically getting rid of her so that way I could draw 2 cards, and then I basically can activate her from the graveyard, sending my field spell to the graveyard, special summon her, so now we have 2 level 9s. Then I can activate her effect and special summon another level 9 from the hand, right? So then with both of these monsters, we're gonna go into our boss monster right here. We're gonna set down our evenly match and end our turn. Now this is what I'm telling you, all your level 9 generator monsters have a really great effect. Also, I goofed. This should be up here, bro. I'm just not used to putting Xyz monsters up here. But this should always be up here. Remember that. Now, this thing right here basically has an effect that if they special summon a monster, I get to solo judgment it by tributing this thing or tributing 2 of my tokens, right? So they drew a card, so you know what that means. We're going to activate our field spell. We're going to bring the heart onto the field, right? And then this thing's going to activate to bring 2 tokens. Now this is what I was telling you, the reason why this thing should be up here in the link zone is because we would have gotten 3 tokens instead of 2s, which would have gave us more materials to tribute in order to activate our generator monsters. So here they're going to start off by activating evenly match, and this is why I wanted to show you this. This thing can get rid of evenly matched, so you don't have to worry about being evenly matched when you have this thing on the field. Now granted, yeah, they got rid of your negate, but you didn't get evenly matched. So here they activate the frog, sending a frog to the graveyard so they can special summon the frog, right? And this is when I activate this thing's effect. When your opponent would special summon a monster, quick effect, you can tribute 1 generator monster or 1 worm monster, negate the summon, and if you do, destroy that monster. Basically, solemn judgment. But they did have the code by the grave because they did have my phone number. It got leaked. So here I'm going to activate our boss monster, right? Then they're going to activate the Bistro Magna Hut. That way they could banish my Myrtle. I'm sad about that. You never want your Myrtle vanished, honestly speaking, but it doesn't matter. So we're going to bring this thing. We're going to suck up the frog and suck up the Magna Hut. And this is, I don't know why, bro. It wouldn't allow me to take this thing. Because I was going to take both of them. Because if you take both of the level 2s, then what the heck are they going to do, right? It's Sprite. But it wouldn't let me take that thing for some reason. But I still took both of those monsters. They did banish my monster from the graveyard, right? With the call by the grave. They're going to activate that thing's effect. And I'm going to Ash Blossom that thing. And it's going to be a Buenas tardes. Nos vemos tomorrow, alright? Mañana. Like... This thing bodies tier limits, it bodies Sprite, and because you're basically taking their monsters. The level 2s, you're gonna take them. Tier limits, you could take their monsters from the graveyard and their field. So now they don't get to fusion summon with anything. It's pretty nuts. Now let me show you how we did against Labyrinth as well. Let's get into that. Alright, again, here we are for the last replay of the day. Now I decided to show you a little bit more because you guys do want more replays and stuff like that. And also these go by pretty quick, so I think this is fine. Again, this one was against Labyrinth, if I'm not mistaken. So here we're going to start off by activating our Kaiju Curse, right? We're going to send one of our level 9s to the graveyard, so that way we get 2 cards right here. Now, the reason why I wanted to show you this one is to show you how to also go into Baron the Floor, right? So we're going to set down our field spell. We're going to normal summon our Diviner. With the Diviner, you're going to send your Trias Hariuchia into the graveyard, right? You're going to activate its effect, send the Diviner to the graveyard, special summon that thing. And Diviner is going to allow you to special summon your level 1 tuner, right here, your DD Sprite, right? And with a level 1 tuner and a level 9 monster, you guys know Baron de la Fleur. Bring it out here. Then we're going to continue our combo with our Vala, sending our up TR to the graveyard. That way we can activate her effect, bring the up TR to the field, activate the up TR. They're going to activate the Lavish Chandelier. Now here, I could have called by the grave that thing, but I'm like, you know what? I don't even mind them setting down a trap right now. I don't really care. So I let this rock, right? They're going to set down the Welcome Labyrinth. They don't know that I'm welcoming them to this L. And here we're going to bring a Merlot onto the hand. That way I can get myself another level 9 onto the hand, right? Then we both for these monsters, we're going to Xyz summon into our main boss monster, the Leviathan. special summon that thing onto the field, set down the code by the grave. Now I told you, right, put that thing up here. I just kept forgetting because I'm not used to doing it. So this is my board. We have an opening negate, and then when they do this, again, you're gonna draw your heart, well, special summon your heart, and you're gonna get 2 tokens onto the field. So right now we basically have 2 complete Omni negates, and we have the double suck up, right? And we have a code by the grave. Nuts. So here they're gonna set down 2 traps, right? I'm gonna activate this thing's effect, and immediately I'm just gonna suck up the 2 traps, and they're gonna scoop. The duel was over the minute I made this board, just so you know, because whatever they did, if they would have activated the clock, I would have called by the grave the clock. If they would have special summoned the lady, anything they would have done, bro, I have 2 opening negates. I did the double suck up, so I sucked up the. If they would have sent anything to the grave, I would have just taken it from them, bro. This board right here was ridiculous. So yeah, it's a GG's, man. It's a GG's. I just wanted to show you that, to show you how you could go into Baron the floor and show you the crazy boards that you can make with this deck regularly, bro. It's nuts. So with that being said, let's go into the deck list. Alright, gang, here we are for the deck list portion of the video. Now, this, like I said, before we even get into the whole deck list and everything, this deck is actually amazing, bro. When it gets to pop off, when it works, when you make your things, it's nuts. And also the fact that if you have 1 level 9 on the field and you have this thing, well, 1 level 9 on the field and this thing is amazing, because you basically get to pick what the heck you're gonna do against your opponents. And when you have this thing on the field on your opponent's turn, nuts. Now you got to make sure you have the space for it though. But also having your field spell, as long as you have your field spell, you know that you at least have 1 opening negate. So if you have hand traps in your hand and your field spell, then you know that you're gonna go into your heart, and basically you have an opening negate plus whatever hand traps that you have. So even when you brick, sometimes it's not that bad. And most of the times when I brick with this deck is because I bricked on hand traps. So it's not that bad. Now with that being said, that is the main weakness of the deck, that it bricks. But DD Sprite, this is your level 1 tuner, so you could go into your Baron the floor. I showed you how to do that. Diviner, right? You're going to activate its effect. You're going to send this to the graveyard, activate this, and this to the graveyard, special summon this. You got to Baron the floor. So that's why we run 1 of these. Then we have 3 Maxis, right? 3 Diviner Heralds. Because also Diviner Herald, what you'll do is you'll send your level 7 into the graveyard. This thing becomes a level 9. And basically you activate this thing's effect. You got 2 more level 9s onto the field, right? Amazing. Or you could just use this thing's effect by getting rid of it since it's a level 9 now, and then drawing 2 cards. It's up to you. Then we have 3 Ash Blossoms because it is spring on your side of the field, so you have to negate stuff, right? Then we have 3 Love TR. This thing is actually really good. This thing will always get you into your level 9, and it basically searches out your any one of your monsters from your deck, which most of the time will be your Myrtle. Myrtle, you should definitely run it at 2, but I'm low on UR dust, bro. I need to build another deck. I want to play Evil Eyes, so I need these right here, but I will definitely crafted another one of these. I was doing fine with only 1 though, but I would recommend playing it at 2. This is basically your searcher for any one of your generator cards. This is how you search out your field spell most of the time. Then I do play 1 Ning Dog. This thing basically is a Sullen Judgment. By tributing two cards, you basically, when they special summon a monster, you pop that thing, get it out of here. You never special summon anything. I do play 1 Hala. I was playing without this, but I wanted another Generator level 9 monster because I wasn't getting them that much. Again, the deck can brick, so I wanted to add another level 9 monster that I could use to either draw cards with this thing, or like special summon with this thing, or use this effect, right? Also, this thing allows you to special summon any one of them by tributing itself or any one of your generator cards. You will be able to special summon one of your generators from your graveyard, which is also good, right? Then I do run 1 Utarga. This thing basically you tribute 2 monsters, the same effect of the other ones, but this one banishes a monster from the field, right? Which is really good. Or a card. It doesn't have to be a monster. Yeah, it says right here, tribute 2 general monster, rock monsters, then target 1 card on the field and banish it. It doesn't have to be a monster. So then, yeah, we are running 2 hearts. This thing is your Omni negate. This is what you're always going to go into when you have your field spell on your first turn. So this thing is actually some cracky sauciness. I love this card right here. Then we do play 2 Trias Hariuchis. Again, this is mainly, this thing is also really good because when you have it in the hand, let's say you have your field spell, you have this thing, and you have a bunch of tokens. You could basically tribute your tokens, special summon this thing, if you do 3 fairy monsters, which this is a fairy and this is a fairy, all of your tokens are fairies as well. So if you have this in the hand, what you could do is tribute 3 of your tokens or 3 fairy monsters. You're gonna draw 2 cards and you're gonna get to pop a card on the field, and you're gonna special summon that thing. Really nice. So we run it at 2, then we run 3 Valas. Again, this thing is some cracky sauciness. I'm really happy that it's a non-rare, super rare, or ultra rare. This is great. So yeah, 3 of those is your main combo starter as well. And then Foolish Burial Goods, I do run it at 1 because sometimes if you do have any one of your Generator monsters in the hand, most of them are bricks. So if you have this and this in your hand, you can't do anything. But what you'll do is you're going to activate Foolish Burial Goods, send this to the graveyard, activate her effect, send 1 of them to the graveyard, and then you're going to special summon it. You got 2 level 9 monsters. You're going to go into your boss monster. Really nice. Then you guys know what this does. Get rid of a level 9 monster, draw 2 cards. Field Spell, we definitely run that thing at 3. This thing some cracky sauciness. Call by the Grave at 2. World Legacy Monstrosity at 3. Definitely always, please. Cross-Eyed Destinator, because we play every hand trap. We play Max C, Ash Blossom, Call by the Grave, and Infinite Impermanence. This thing has allowed me to make my boards a bunch of times, bro. When they try to Infinite Impermanence me, I Call by the Grave that thing. They try to Max C me, I Cross-Eyed Destinator that thing. Everything gets Cross-Eyed Destinator, bro. Even the Evenly Match, which you run 2. Because going second, the deck doesn't do all that great. You can get stabbed pretty easily. So we do need the Evenly Match. It has 1 me games. And 2 Infinite Impermanence. Then we do run 1 Elder Entity, because if you need to pop a card on the field, you just normal summon Diviner, send that thing to the graveyard, pop a card on the field, right? Then 1 Tricktar's Band Suite. And again, the reason why we run this thing is because your Diviner has to become a level 9. So by sending this to the graveyard, it becomes a level 9, right? Then Baron the Floor, because you can't go into Baron the Floor with this deck. So that's why we have it in there. Number FO, Utopic Future, and then the Utopic Future Draco, both of these monsters, because you're going to go into this one after you hand rip your opponent. Or you could just do it with any one of, all of your Xyz monsters are basically level 9. So you could always go into this thing if you have 2 Xyz monsters on the field, right? And then from this thing, you're going to go into this thing. Then we run 2 Phantom Fortress and enter Blanier, enter whatever that is. And basically this is how you hand rip your opponent. It's crazy. You could hand rip your opponent, slap him in the face, and make a Zeus as well on your second turn, which is nuts. So we run 2 of those. Then we run 1 Infinite Track Earth Slicer. I didn't get to show you this, but this deck is amazing because you could special summon this thing. Well, you could Xyz summon into it. You could basically either pop 1 card or 2 cards on the field, and then what I like to do is leave a monster on the field that I can attack over that thing, attach it as materials to this thing, and then you can make a Zeus. Crazy. And then 2 Journal Grand Generator Boss of the Eternity. This thing is your sucky, right? You're gonna suck 2 monsters, or 2 cards from anywhere, field or graveyard, which is nuts. So then it has the other second effect that you guys saw as well. Draw a card. They gotta give you a card as material. You gotta put a card as material into it. And then we have 1 Sacred Chief Beast Hypertone. Remember that this thing only works on your opponent's turn. This will not negate on your turn, only on your opponent's turn. I made the mistake of doing that a few times, so I'm letting you know. Only on your opponent's turn. So sometimes, if you don't want to hand rip your opponent, what I recommend doing is bring this thing onto the field and then make your boss monster right here. And now you basically have an Omni negate while also having your sucky. So you could do it that way if you don't feel like hand ripping your opponent. And then on top of that, we do run 2 of our boss monsters, our Levitain Generator Boss of the Shadows, right? And 1 Divine Arsenal AA Zeus. I'll let you look at it for a little bit. It's so tough. And that is the deck list. Guys, if you do build a deck and you see that it's a little inconsistent this way, just mess around with it until you find a more consistent way. This works out for me. But again, the deck does brick sometimes. Most of the time when I brick on hand traps and stuff like that. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the content. If you did, please leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe to the boy because I would greatly appreciate it. Enough talking. Continue having a great day. If you have any questions, go in the comment section below. I'll always answer, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.